buildings have been around for thousands of years. They seem immortal, some buildings never changing despite the passing of lifetimes, yet others seemingly springing up from nowhere. But now we will look at the 10 oldest buildings from around the world that are still standing and the history behind them. Number 10. Lisdegil. Lisdegil is a large central monument in a group of prehistoric tombs in Ireland. Lisdegil stands 59 metres above sea level at the centre of a peninsula in County Sligo. Lisdegil stands around 15 metres high with a diameter of 34 metres. This allows the central monument to tower over the circle of smaller monuments surrounding it. Writings from the 1880s describe stones being removed for roads before the tomb was discovered at the centre. Bones and other materials found at the tomb were carbon dated back to around 3500 BCE. Some of the area surrounding the building was burnt. Archaeologists discovered this when material in the area had extensive burn marks. But with the incredible age being discovered by carbon dating, Lisdegil has made it to number 10 on my list of oldest buildings from around the world. Number 9. West Kennet Long Barrow. West Kennet Long Barrow, or South Long Barrow as it is sometimes known, is a chambered long barrow or tomb located in England. It is estimated to have been constructed around 3700 BCE to 3600 BCE, and today it is a partially reconstructed state. Archaeologists think that the monument was built by nomadic communities of pastoralists shortly after the introduction of agriculture from continental Europe. Long barrow buildings were widespread throughout Europe at the time, and the one local to the West Kennet Long Barrow were made from earth and limestone. Many remains were placed in the tomb, both human and other animals. However, nowadays, West Kennet Long Barrow is under the guardianship of the charity English Heritage and a part of a larger UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 8. Doorman of Manga. Doorman of Manga is a megalithic burial mound in Malaga, Spain. It is estimated to date back to around 3750 to 3650 BCE, and a mound was built over the site after completion. It is one of the largest known ancient megalithic structures in Europe, as it is 27.5 metres long, 6 metres wide and 3.5 metres high, and it is also surrounded by 32 large stones called megaliths. The structure contains a deep but narrow well at the bottom of the Doorman of Manga. This structure is also a tomb, and when it was opened in the 19th century, it contained hundreds of people. In 2016, it was included in a local UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with other local sites ranging from 70 metres to 4 kilometres away. Would you like to visit the Doorman of Manga? Number 7. Gantija. Gantija is a megalithic temple complex on the island of Gozo. Gozo itself is a part of Malta and nicknamed the Island of Calypso. The Gantija temples are the earliest forms of megalithic tombs found in Malta and are older than the pyramids in Egypt. The temples are thought to be more than 5,500 years old. These temples are also the second oldest religious structure in the world. Local folklore states that a giantess built the temples after giving birth and then used them for worship. The area was first excavated in 1827 but was then left to decay as it was in private hands until 1933. The areas surrounding the temples were then bought by the government for public benefit. More excavations took place after this on and off from 1933 up to 1959. The temples are currently well-preserved ruins and are also part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a heritage park was opened in 2013 for public use. Number 6. Knap of Howar. The Knap of Howar on the island of Orkney in Scotland is a Neolithic farmstead. Carbon dating estimates that the stone house was occupied between 3700 BCE and 2800 BCE. The farmstead consists of two rectangular thick-walled stone buildings with low doorways facing the sea. The buildings have no windows and are thought to have been lit by a fire due to a hole in each roof to let smoke out. Inside the buildings there are stone furniture such as beds, storage shelves, fireplaces, and a partition wall. The inhabitants are thought to have kept animals, including cattle, sheep, and pigs, as well as fishing and growing certain crops such as wheat and barley. The buildings are now under the protection of Historic Scotland. Number 5. Montedio Cardi. Montedio Cardi is another Neolithic archaeological site, with this one being found in northern Sardinia, Italy. The site has large stones creating a raised platform that is thought to be an altar. Some of the oldest parts of this site dates back to around 4000 BCE to 3650 BCE. After being rediscovered in 1954, many speculations of the purpose of the building have been formed. The 27 metre by 27 metre base with no entrance has led people to believe the structure is a temple, altar, or even a step pyramid. The original structure on the site is thought to have burned down around 3000 BCE before a later addition was built over the same base, forming the step pyramid image seen today. The raised platform is also thought to be an altar due to the belief that animal sacrifices occurred on the platform. This is backed up with the remains of animals being found around Montedio Cardi. What do you think it was used for? Number 4. Annal Ziggurat of Uruk. In modern-day Iraq, a massive monument was erected in dedication to the sky god An. The Annal Ziggurat was a large single terrace that was a symbol of power throughout the local area. It all began with a massive mound of earth topped by an enclosed room which was built around 4000 BCE. It was then expanded through 14 phases of construction that ended in the construction of the White Temple in about 3000 BCE. The raised terrace, but mainly the White Temple, was a symbol of local political power due to the reflective properties of the gypsum plaster used in construction. Number 3. SaintMichel. The tumulus of SaintMichel is located in Brittany, France, just east of the village Karnak. It is believed to have been first built in 4500 BCE, and it is classed as the largest burial mound in continental Europe. It measures 125 metres long, 60 metres wide, and 10 metres high, with the top of the mound measuring 75 metres long. The mound has an elongated stone at its core and a church on top. An enclosed chamber was exposed at the centre of the mound in 1862. Within the central chamber, researchers found various pearls and flint tools along with burnt remains. It is also part of a classification since 1889 called a National Heritage Site. Number 2. Tumulus of Bougon. The tumulus or necropolis of Bougon is a complex of 5 Neolithic tombs located in France. They were discovered in 1840 with limited excavations beginning in the 40s. It was then acquired by a government department in 1873 for protection. Excavations began again in the late 1960s and a museum was built on the site in 1993. It is believed that the oldest structures on this site dates back to around 4800 BCE. Would you like to visit the tumulus of Bougon? Have you been to the museum? Number 1. Barneys. The tumulus or cairn Barneys is a Neolithic monument located in Brittany, France. It dates back to around 4800 BCE and is one of the oldest megalithic monuments in Europe. But the most impressive record is that the tumulus of Barneys is one of the oldest man-made structures in the world and is thought to be the oldest building in the world. This structure was first mapped in 1807 and scientifically recognised in 1850. Radiocarbon dating shows that the first stage of construction took place around 4800 BCE to 4250 BCE, with the second stage of construction between 4450 BCE and 4000 BCE. The site was privately owned until 1950, before the building was then owned by the local community. It is 72 metres long, 25 metres wide and 8 metres high, with 11 different chambers. It is estimated to contain 13,000 to 14,000 tons of stones and rocks. And at that great age, it makes it onto top place in my list of the 10 oldest buildings from around the world. Now that you've heard about 10 of the oldest buildings in the world, which one was the most fascinating? Which one would you like to see the most? Or have you seen any before? Have you ever heard of these buildings? Please discuss in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to never miss information from the History Scholar. Always be up to date with history.